Albertans are angry because of the terrible judgment that many in government have shown, and they are right to be angry. I had heard Albertans loud and clear. After all of the terrible sacrifices that people have made for 10 months, it was insulting for government leaders to holiday outside of the country. Albertans said they wanted there to be consequences. I heard them, and there have been serious consequences. They were right to make that demand, and that is why those responsible lost jobs and suffered demotions, and we have changed our policies to ensure that elected officials, people in senior positions of public trust, do not travel abroad during this pandemic unless it is for truly essential business reasons. I don't foresee those circumstances. I know many people are deeply frustrated, and they are right to be frustrated. But that frustration cannot stop hard decisions that must be made to protect public health. Trust has been broken, and I accept that that trust must be repaired. After the last election, MLAs, ministers, myself, set the right tone by taking voluntary pay cuts. We need to show Albertans that a renewed sense of that kind of leadership. We also need to show discipline as a team. And let me pause to say that I will be working with the UCP caucus to ensure that culture of discipline. And that starts with ensuring that people comply not just with the letter, but also the spirit of both the public health restrictions and guidelines. It is the very least that can be done. And so I apologize to Albertans for what happened, for these bad decisions. As I said last week, I accept responsibility for not having laid down even clearer expectations for members of my team. I am deeply disappointed, and you two have a right to be as well. And I was aware of that, I have to confess, on Thursday night when I first became, when Minister Allard came back and we were starting to finally get more complete information on the whereabouts of folks in our caucus. I realized there was a very real problem, that this could impair the moral authority of government to ask Albertans to continue to make these deep sacrifices. I've shown, and our team has shown, that there are real consequences for this kind of unacceptable behavior. And we'll have to continue showing to Albertans that we've learned the lesson, we've heard them, and we have to rebuild a culture of discipline and of humility. And that's all we can do. But I cannot, as Premier, allow any of that to take risks with people's lives and livelihoods. We cannot let, and we've tried to avoid from the very beginning, all of these different kinds of, if you will, political considerations from infecting the hugely important public health and other decisions we have to make. We've always tried to do in a balanced way, and I'll say that I think we are. If you look at other jurisdictions, we are still doing it in a reasonably balanced way. The public health restrictions in Alberta continue to be less stringent than across Canada in most areas. And that is because we have tried to balance off all of the considerations, including people's mental and emotional health, their social and economic circumstances. So that will continue to be our guiding light. And while the events of last week were deeply unfortunate, they were wrong. They required the kind of consequences that they got. The reality is that we have to continue to keep our eye on the ball, which is protecting people's lives and livelihoods, and that's what these announcements do today.